I didn't actually tell them. My sister wrote them a letter, an anonymous letter, and placed it in our mailbox. But because we don't actually receive mail to our home, my parents knew that it was from one of us. And so she was the only one wise enough at the time to include adults.
Yeah, I know that Cora actually wrote the letter. Cora, hi, Cora.
Hello.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Now, but you knew she was writing the letter?
No, she
So
did
you
not
were just
discuss
ratting her
that.
out?
Yes, snitching.
I'm so glad you. I'm so glad you wrote that letter.
Yes, I felt like the benefits of her getting prenatal care outweighed the risk of us possibly losing our friendship at the time.
Yeah. So you come home and they've read the letter.
Yeah, a warning would have been nice.
Yeah. So take me through that conversation. You walk in the door, they've gotten the letter, they've read it. Who was there?
My siblings, I have my sister, and then I also have 3 brothers.
Right.
And so my mother told me, we have this letter and it says that you're pregnant. And the moment that they said it, I started crying. I told them that it was true. And it's like I said, I remember them being completely silent for a very long time, which I know may not be a big deal in most homes, but when your father speaks for a living, to render him speechless is quite the task.
I've never been around the bishop when he was
It doesn't
speechless.
happen often.
So what was their reaction once they did begin to speak?
Extremely disappointed. I was 14 years old. No one dreams that their child will have a child at that age. And so, you know, I believe for a very long time they grieved the dream that they thought would be for their daughter. And then once we got through that, and it was a process, we started looking at the practical matters of it, the health care and school education.
Started working the problem.
Right.
You describe this, and this is what I want parents to hear. You describe this as puppy love, sex, and those don't seem to go in the same sentence, but unfortunately they do.
Yeah.
And did anybody in your family have any idea that you had become sexually active at that point?
No, no one knew.
No one knew. And having been in the environment that you're in, and let me define what I mean by that, because I've actually shared the pulpit with your dad and Sarita at your church, and I know that this is a very hands-on, real-world ministry, meeting people where they are. And I know that they talk about premarital sex. I know they talk about teen sex. I know they talk about all that. You had been exposed to all of this growing up, but yet you still put yourself in harm's way. How do you see that looking back?
Well, I think that we all have our own journeys. You know, I know that it was something that we spoke about a lot in our ministry, but just because my parents are preaching about it doesn't mean that I will live by it. That's the reality of it, that we all find out on our own. And so I knew that it was against what our ministry stood for, but still made the conscious decision to have sex anyway.